know you guys accidentally clicked on this video, but while you're here,
What's up, everybody? Episode 12.
episode 11,
Episode 11.
3 things we're covering. Upcoming Vietnamese national tournament, which we actually don't know anything about, the value of competition and what you learn about yourself, and some upcoming international tournaments that Team Vietnam can come together. Welcome to the Saigon Saga, where we cover combat sports in Vietnam and have fun while doing it. This sports show.
The sports channel. You know TSN?
Dude, when people see this set up, they know news is coming.
They know there's no good news coming.
News is coming.
So, Zach, what do you know about this, the Vietnamese national tournament for Jiu Jitsu coming up?
Okay, it was originally scheduled from the March 15th through the 25th. Okay. But for some reason that didn't happen. Why was it 10 days? No one really knows. It's in Kento, I think, is the correct pronunciation. But now it's starting on, I believe, don't quote me on this, guys. This is going off a text message that, so I think it's on April 20th.
April 20th.
It's on 420.
420. I don't know what that means.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do from Canada. Dude, but wait a second.
I don't know what I'm going to be doing, but I know I have plans. Yeah, still unsure, but I do know that I'm not available for anything on that date.
Dude, so wait a second. So this is what we know. And I think this, and I really like the way it's set up. And I'll tell you why. It's only weight classes. That's it. No, nothing is separated by belts. You just show up, you're 77 kg. Okay. Do you want to be the 77 kg champion? Then you just compete in the 77 kg weight class. That's it. It doesn't go further. It doesn't matter what your belt is. It doesn't matter how long you've been grappling. It does not matter. Get on the mat and win your matches, right? So it's more of like a wrestling style, right? You know what I mean? Like
you just show up and compete.
You
That's
show
it.
compete.
That's all.
It doesn't matter what there are no belts.
And
I
if you're
love
the best,
that.
you will be the champion.
And I love that. And I think that it's good for the sport of jiu-jitsu here in Vietnam, and it brings a lot of like national pride as it applies to jiu-jitsu. Sometimes they allow foreigners into this tournament, and sometimes they don't. This year it doesn't appear that they are, and I think that's a good thing.
Absolutely. It's the Vietnamese national tournament. It's for the Vietnamese athletes.
This is what I think about when it comes to weight classes, especially as it pertains between 60 kilograms to 77 kilograms, around that range. I think 77 kilograms easier because the lower you go, the more technique there is, and the better guard players there are. And for me, as basically a stand-up wrestler who does jiu-jitsu, the smaller guys to me are harder to deal with. Tall, skinny, flexible guard player. I think this is very different than an ADCC. You go to an ADCC, the 77 kilogram guys are super big because they probably cut down from 83, 84. If you're in the pro division, these guys are cutting from maybe 86, 87. The pros are no joke, right? For those of you watching, I have not competed in pro yet. Maybe later this year.
Is there a tournament in June somewhere?
Yes, ADCC. It's a big weekend for everyone. It's a big weekend for everyone because it's an opportunity for everyone to go down to Malaysia, 2 tournaments, June 1st, June 2nd, a gi-only tournament, ASJJF on June 1st, ADCC Malaysia, which is the first one ever from this organization, on Sunday in the same mall. It's in the Tropicana Gardens Mall in Kuala Lumpur, and a lot of notable people here in Vietnam are going. Raymond, Corey, Mirko is going. Simon says he's going to go. Rob Deagle is going to go. A lot of other people are going to go down there as well. Some people are a little hesitant to go into an ADCC because they think, oh, I don't know if I'm ready for an ADCC. You are ready for an ADCC. The ADCC, the way it works is you've got 3 divisions. Instead of belts, you have beginner, intermediate, and pro, right? So beginner, basically white belt and blue belt, intermediate, anywhere from blue belt to brown belt, and then expert or pro is anywhere from purple belt to black belt. So in other words, you can choose which division you go in.
And
right?
you go beginner every time? Or just the ones you've won?
I've never gone beginner. If you've wrestled in college, you have to
Go intermediate.
You have to go
basically
at
like
least
2 years
intermediate.
experience. You should.
Yeah, you have to at least go intermediate, or else you'll be a sandbagger, right? You don't want to be a sandbagger, right?
What does it mean to you to be a sandbagger, Zach? How does that make you feel?
I'm not.
People are calling you this.
I'm not a sandbagger.
Winning,
no,
consistently placing in ADCC tournaments, gold back to back.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I've never won gold absolute ADCC.
What are some of the differences between the intermediate level and the pro level?
I think there's a huge difference. A large percentage of these guys make a living off of jiu-jitsu or grappling.
One way or another.
One way or another.
They're steadily competing.
But you've also got, it seems, these guys who really did really well in high school wrestling and started jiu-jitsu, and now they're like 22, maybe they're like a purple belt, and now, okay, I'm just going to go pro, right?
But they're already high-level grapplers.
They're already high-level grapplers, but they're not on the level as like Rob Deagle, right? Rob Deagle is a great example of a pro competitive grappler. I mean, a lot of people they're so good, they have their own styles. But here's the thing about pro, like intermediate, you can go and if things work out right, like you're feeling good that day, your bracket, you don't have the toughest guy the first round, you did well in your weight class, right? So if you go to an ADCC, you have to do your weight class to do absolute. You can't just show up and do only absolute. So
but you don't need to win your weight class to do absolute.
You don't have to win your weight class. In IBJJF, you have to get top 3, and then you can qualify for the absolute. You don't have to pay. In ADCC, before you go, I'm going to pay for 76 and absolute. Okay. If you're going to win absolute, a lot of things have to line up. You got to finish your matches quick in your weight class, right? You can't tire yourself out too much, because after your weight class, you have, every time I've had at least 3 matches in my weight class, you get done with your weight class, and now the real tournament starts, right? The real tournament is absolute, and it's safe to say that it's a tournament of really good grapplers from each weight class. Not necessarily the best, because not everyone does it. Absolute pro is an absolute another level. These guys are serious. If I win double gold in Malaysia, I promise the next tournament I will go pro.
Okay.
I will go pro. So that means I have to go pro everywhere. Even in the US, I do US ADCC, whatever. I'll do it, whatever. Why do I not care? Because I don't plan on going back to the United States. There was a time I was living in Colombia. I was living in Colombia 2 years ago, and I was really getting into jiu-jitsu and consistently training like 2 to 3 times a day. Like, it was my life. And so I was at a turning point. I didn't want to live in the US anymore. I love living abroad. And then I was like, I could just go to B team and train with some of the best in the world. Which one do I want to do? I was really torn. I'm just going to spend about a month at B team in Austin.
But that's amazing. Like, what other sport can you just go and train with the best in the world?
Jiu-jitsu is so young to where you can do that. 30 years from now, you're not going to be able to do that.
Hey, pick a sport. Can you go and just like, oh, I'm going to go train with Ronaldo?
You can't do that.
Just show up. Yeah, we're getting some work in today.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that. But that's what's beautiful about our sport. Whereas in wrestling, even wrestling, you can't do that. Or judo, you can't do that. And that's what's cool about our sport. But seriously, like, it's so new that anyone who's fairly dedicated to the sport can find a way to make an impact somehow. Even you don't have to be a professional athlete to do it. You can do clothing. You can help a gym. You can find some kind of way to help promote the sport.
Can you start a
grappling.
podcast?
You can start a podcast, right?
Probably a terrible idea, but someone's got to do it.
Someone's got to do it. Maybe it works, maybe it doesn't. Who knows? You know what I mean? Adam, okay, what is something that you believed a year ago in combat sports that you've changed your mind about?
I don't know if this is necessarily changing a belief, but it's a realization how important competition is.
Okay.
I think I consider myself a hobbyist. I'm just, interested in improving slowly. I have no big aspirations to compete at a high level in any sport. I'm already 30 years old. You're never going to win the championship.
I don't want to hear that, dude. You are very young, man. You are very, very young. I didn't start until I was 35.
Am I going to go win worlds?
You can. You can win worlds. Yes, you can. Masters, yes, you can. 100%. Easily.
I mean, be like the number one guy. Not IBJJF 7,000.
You're talking about ADCC.
I'm just talking like, am I going to go and compete and try and be the best?
But why does that matter?
Am I going to do that? No. So my aspiration is completely different. My aspiration is not winning tournaments. It's improving as a martial artist.
And what is the role of competition in that?
You can put yourself in a different situation, figure out what works, what happens, and depending on the sport, like how your mind plays games with you.
How does your mind play games in competition?
If you're going into a gi tournament, for instance, and you never really play grips that hard, you're not that focused on getting good grips. If somebody has a good grip on you or tries to take one, you never break the grip. You don't worry about it. You're just like, to me, jiu-jitsu has always been a game. Like, it is not a real competition. There's no striking involved. Like, you're just playing. There's a specific rule set you can play within this game. So to me, like, okay, I'm in the training room, like someone gets a grip. If I don't need to break the grip, or like maybe like in theory, if you want to do well, yeah, you should break this grip first and move forward. But the way I see things is like, I'm going to the gym for entertainment because I like it. Yes, to get better, but am I going to spend all of my energy and intention just like going through these motions of, okay, break the grip, progress, break the grip, progress. To me, jiu-jitsu is about being able to evolve. It's like, I don't feel like breaking this grip right now. I will just play a different game. I'll let them play this grip and try and do something else. You go to competition, you realize, oh, damn, that grip matters. And this is why I don't like training in the gi.
In gi, I guess.
I like learn some wrestling. Then I competed in no gi. And my intention in that tournament was just to have a wrestling match because I had been working on my wrestling, or at least I don't want to call it wrestling. Let's call it stand-up. And I wanted to go and showcase that just for myself to see, okay, like, have I learned anything? Can I implement anything? And the answer was no. Like, I felt like I had a very nice base and good balance. My hand fighting was way better. But what happened in that match is I ran out of techniques. I did everything that I felt.
But you were going against one of the best wrestlers in Vietnam, though.
That is,
and one of the top purple belts in Vietnam, without question. A seasoned competitor.
But it doesn't matter who the guy is. I could care less who the opponent is.
You had been wrestling for 3 months. He had been wrestling for 6 years.
To me, it doesn't matter who the person is, because if I match up against somebody who's better than me and I can't beat them, they're better than me. If I match up against somebody and I beat them easily, it doesn't matter that I beat them. I'm just better than them. I was better that day. To me, it's more about going to compete and you figure out what holes you have. I immediately realized, I'm not actually, like, I don't shoot to the legs. I don't think I'll ever really implement this into my game. Yeah. And the other thing is I like standing, like try to get foot sweeps and standing attacks, like all posture-based attacks. And I went through the repertoire of what I had to offer, and it didn't work. And then I felt like I was just going through these, trying to land the same attacks over and over, and they weren't working, and I didn't really have an answer. If I wanted to win that match, okay, pull guard immediately. That's my A game. But I don't want to go and play guard. I can play guard in the gym. I want to see if my wrestling is improved. Again, someone who's good and someone who is also trying to win, like really trying to win. And that's to me, I'm learning way more.
You hit the nail on the head. Like, competition exposes your holes in your game and your weaknesses, and you're gonna have to You know what you need to work on when you get back in the room. And props to you, Adam, for doing the stand-up game when you know it's your weakest, because that's hard to do in competition, to be honest. I mean, that's something I've never done. I've never gone in a competition and the idea of going into a competition and pulling guard is asinine to me. Like, that to me is so scary. And you basically did the same thing. You just did the stand-up against a seasoned wrestler. You knew the guy was tough. So props to you for doing that, and especially in your first no-gi match.
I still see myself as a hobbyist in all sports. Like, I'll be a lifelong martial artist, but I'll never be competing at the highest level. And that's okay.
I think that's it.
So
it's also a choice.
To find the best level is to put yourself in the best challenge for your time. And finding someone who is who matches up well against you and can bring out the best in your game.
A lot of things come from competition. You know, it's prestige of winning, and it's all, but more, the best value is exposing your weaknesses in your art. And I think another thing, which I think is more valuable, is the camaraderie that comes with it. To me, the camaraderie is the best moments. The best moments I have in competition in wrestling and jiu-jitsu are the camaraderie. The Mirko's in the corner, Adrian on, just having the whole team there. Gary was there. Like, everyone was supporting each other. That's what's really beautiful about it.
So you're just all about the community. That's number one.
For me, the community is number one, without question. Without question. My life is much better because of the martial arts community.
And what did it mean to you to see all these guys from different gyms coming together? Like, when you're competing, you have Heap in your corner.
Yeah.
Like, a guy from probably your biggest, maybe not rival is the right word, but the guy you're always going neck and neck with.
He is my biggest rival in Vietnam. And think about this. How cool is this? One match, he's in my corner coaching me in the finals, right? Just a couple matches later, I'm going against him in the quarterfinals in the absolute. And we're against each other. We're going hard. 20 minutes later, he's in my corner again, giving the best coaching advice he possibly can. Why? Because he genuinely wants me to win. There's nothing like that. There's nothing. It means so much to me that we have this community, right? And I think that specifically grappling, jiu-jitsu, we have this more than any other sport.